What's up guys, Mainly Hockey Cards here, and today we're looking at all 50 Young Guns from this year's 2025-26 Upper Deck Series 1 Hockey. I will give a value potential letter rating from F to A for each card. In general, I see Fs as cards to stay away from, Ds as players with limited to no potential for value, Cs as players that are on the fringe of having more value, Bs as players that have increasing potential but may have inconsistencies or uncertainties, and As as players that are the highlights of the product and have the highest potential value ceilings. It is important to note, I am not a financial advisor. Please do your own due diligence and research before investing in anything or anyone. 2025-26 Upper Deck Series 1 Hockey, let's get underway. Artyom Levshunov is a 19-year-old defenseman who was the number 2 pick in the 2024 draft. Being on the Blackhawks does increase his stock, but standalone, this guy is a gem. It's not often you see a defenseman this young at the NHL level, and he could be an offensive powerhouse in a couple seasons' time, A-. Gabe Perreault is a 20-year-old forward for the Rangers who picked up a helper in his first AHL game. He's coming off a terrific 48-point campaign at Boston College and was a key member of the U.S. World Juniors team that won gold at the beginning of the year. Huge expectations, but hopefully the Rangers don't botch yet another forward's development, A-. Olivier Rodrigue was once a promising goaltending prospect for the Oilers, but is now a free agent after an unexpected turn of events in the KHL. I think he may get another North American look, but tough to say right now, C-. Carter Mazur is a 23-year-old prospect of the Red Wings who had 3 goals in 2 games to start his AHL campaign. He's been a consistent producer at the AHL level and should be among the top names for a call-up in Detroit, C. Ivan Demidov is one of the highlight rookies of the product, no question about it. He is beloved in Montreal, has a world-class skill set, and could be a franchise-type player for the Canadiens, A+. Tim Washe is a 24-year-old forward for the Ducks who's coming off an NCAA championship at Western Michigan. Very small pro sample size though, C+. Jimmy Snuggerud is a 21-year-old forward for the Blues who had 8 points in 14 NHL games between the regular season and playoffs and 51 points in 40 games in the NCAA last season. He could turn out to be an elite player for the Blues in the future, A. Jack Finley is a sizable 23-year-old winger who has had a few modest AHL seasons and starts the year in the NHL, C. Jani Nyman is a 21-year-old winger who had 3 goals and 3 assists in 12 NHL games last season and had 28 goals in the AHL. He's starting this season in Seattle, B. Karsen Dorwart is a 23-year-old forward about to enter his first full NHL season. Probably projects to be a bottom 6 player, C. Riley Duran is a 23-year-old forward who historically hasn't shown much offensive upside, D+. Ozzy Wiesblatt is a 23-year-old forward who had his best AHL season to date last year after a much-needed change of scenery, C. Luca Cagnoni is a 20-year-old defenseman who had 52 points in the AHL last season and 2 points in the NHL. He is starting the season in the AHL, but things are trending in the right direction, B. Ryan Suzuki is a 24-year-old forward who had a great AHL season last year and could be a late bloomer, B-. Sam Morton is a 23-year-old forward in the Flames organization who looks like he could be a decent depth option, C-. Oliver Moore is a 20-year-old forward who had 4 points in his first 9 NHL games last season and is starting this year in the AHL, B. Rodrigo Abols is a 29-year-old forward who had 5 points in his first 22 NHL games last season, but he is 29, D-. Colton Dach is currently playing on the first line in Chicago, but probably projects to be a middle 6 player, B. Noah Ostlund had a great first North American pro season in the AHL and is off to a hot start this year. He should be among one of the first forwards Buffalo calls up, B+. Niklas Kokko had a great AHL season last year and had a rude awakening in the NHL. At only 21 years of age, there is a lot of time to develop though, B-. Nikita Tolopilo is a 25-year-old goaltender for the Canucks organization with 2 solid AHL campaigns under his belt. Goalies do develop at different rates, C. Michael Callahan is a 26-year-old defenseman in the Bruins organization with virtually no offensive upside, F. Elias Pettersson is yet another Elias Pettersson on Vancouver, but this one is a defenseman and doesn't have much offensive upside, D+. Quinn Hutson had 50 points in 38 NCAA games last season. He is starting the year in the AHL and could see some more looks in Edmonton this year. For now, B-. Jacob Gaucher is a 24-year-old forward with limited offensive upside, but could potentially be a reliable checking forward, D+. Dalibor Dvorsky is a 20-year-old forward for the Blues who had 45 points in 61 games in his first AHL campaign. He should be an NHL regular in the future, but does need a little more seasoning, B+. Owen Sillinger is a 28-year-old forward in the Blue Jackets organization who has steadily contributed at the AHL level. At age 28, though, time is of the essence, D. Matthew Wood is a 20-year-old 2023 first-rounder coming off a point-per-game season in the NCAA. Interesting to see how he performs in his first full pro season. B. Donovan Sabrango is a 23-year-old defenseman who had his best pro season last year but looks to be more of a depth option on defense. D+. Jacob Melanson is a 22-year-old forward who hasn't strung much together at the pro level. D+. Mark Gatcomb is a 26-year-old forward who had 8 goals last year and finds himself starting the year in the NHL. Expectations can't be too high though. D+. Ian Moore is a 23-year-old defenseman who may become a depth option. D. Ville Koivunen is a 22-year-old forward who went nearly a point per game in the AHL last season and had 7 points in 8 NHL games for a team that is going to need some life as their core gets older. B. Dominic Shine is a great story, but he's 32 years old. F. Rory Cairns is a 23-year-old forward for the Flames who had nearly a point per game in the AHL last year and 4 points in 5 NHL games. Be on the lookout. B-. Zane Parekh is 19 years old and had 107 points in 61 games last year in the OHL, including 33 goals. By the way, he's a defenseman. The sky truly is the limit for Parekh. I don't hand out super high grades to defensemen that often, but on potential alone, A+. Joakim Kemmel is a 21-year-old forward for the Predators who has had 2 good AHL campaigns in a row and looks to make his mark at the NHL level. B-. Ryan Leonard is a 20-year-old forward who's coming off an incredible NCAA campaign as well as World Junior Gold. He played in 17 games for the Capitals last season and didn't produce all too much, but he should be a solid scoring forward in the very near future. A-. Matthew Robertson is a 24-year-old defenseman for the Rangers who likely maxes as a depth option on the blue line. D+. Ethan Frank is a 27-year-old forward in the Caps organization who has been a reliable contributor at the AHL level and did see some time in the NHL last season, scoring 4 goals and 3 assists in 24 games, but he is already 27. C-. Jacob Quillen is a 23-year-old forward who had 37 points in 67 games in his first AHL campaign and could be a depth option for an NHL team. C. Cam Lund is a 21-year-old forward for the Sharks who had 3 points in his first 11 NHL games and had 3 points in his first AHL game. Small sample size, but has an NHL-ready shot and could find himself in a good spot with time on a Sharks team still rebuilding. B. Justin Robidas worked his way from the ECHL in 2023-24 to a 55-point AHL campaign last season with 2 points in 2 NHL games. He certainly has potential as he continues to work for more NHL playing time. B-. Jakob Skarek is a 25-year-old goaltender who has struggled in North America for the last 6 seasons. Now in the Sharks organization, he looks to right the ship. Goalies are so weird though. C. Victor Ostman is a 25-year-old goaltender who had a solid first pro season with limited NHL action. He'll compete to be the guy this year in Coachella Valley. C+. Parker Ford is a 25-year-old forward in the Jets organization who has put up modest production at the AHL level. C-. Skylar Brindamore is a 26-year-old forward who got to play a game for his dad last season but doesn't appear to carry much offensive upside. D. Sam Rinzel or Artyom Levshunov. Take your pick. Chicago's blue line is loaded with young talent, and Rinzel had 6 points in his first 12 NHL games. He is your first pairing defenseman and first power play unit defenseman playing with Bedard, so in a great position to succeed. I think Levshunov will have a better career, but I'll match him with an A- for potential. Dylan Duke is a 22-year-old forward in the Lightning organization coming off a 20-goal and 20-assist first AHL campaign. He should get some looks in the future. C+. And lastly, checklists are checklists. C+. Overall, I think that this is a great crop of rookies with a lot of talent, but there are also some stinkers too. Here's an overview of the entire class. It will also be listed down below in the video description. As always, this video took a ton of time and research. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind later. Enjoy Series 1 and good luck with your rips. Peace.